I'm Abbie. I'm one of the nurses with Fertility Specialists of Texas, and these are my parents.
I am Krista.
And I'm Gordon.
Through in vitro in 1993.
So tell me about your fertility journey. How long did you try to conceive, or did you know before you started trying that you would need to do IVF?
We'd been trying for at least 5 years, and we lost 3 pregnancies, and then I couldn't get pregnant. I didn't even want to go through the in vitro. Your dad asked me to please at least try once.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I'll try once. He goes, well, if it doesn't work, we'll try another time, right? Exactly where he was sitting and I was standing when he said that.
Aww. And how was your IVF process like? What was Dad's role in it, and what?
Well,
your role was to be a pincushion pretty much. Keep giving you shot after shot after shot of this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, I had to start with giving myself injections with a small needle, kind of like an insulin needle, with, I believe it was Lupron.
Mm-hmm. What was the retrieval day like?
Well, poor Gordon couldn't be there with me. They wouldn't let him in, which was really tough for him. So
which is how it is right now with COVID too.
Okay, so what did you do? Just sitting?
Yeah, I just waited for you
in the waiting room
to be done.
Yeah. When I was in there, before I went in the pre-op, I went in and they gave me just a small pill for just to relax me. That's all I got. And I don't know that it did anything. I don't remember it doing. Maybe I was relaxed, but by the time they got me in there on the operating table, that's the only thing I had, and started the procedure.
Wow.
It was very, very, very painful.
So no IV sedation?
None whatsoever. Just a relaxation pill, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was, but it didn't make me relax for sure.
Right. And I believe it. That's so crazy.
Well, the one thing the IVF nurse was in there, and she had rolled up a stool next to my table where I was laying, and I could watch the whole thing on a screen above me. She held my hand and she helped me through the pain of it.
Good. And you still remember that?
I do. I was very grateful for her. Because I had 12 very healthy, I got 20 eggs out of me. 12 very healthy, 12 very healthy eggs, and then they were embryos, yes, and they were able to, the 12 embryos, and then they were able to freeze 9 of them.
And you had a fresh transfer, right? The embryo.
I believe I went in to have the eggs removed.
Yeah.
What do you call that? The retrieval?
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 days later, we were back on, and actually it was a Sunday. They had to open up the operating area on a Sunday to get me in there to do the actual transfer.
Mm-hmm. And how many did they transfer?
Well, my doctor couldn't do it. He had his partner do it, and his partner insisted on 5. And I'm like, no, please not 5. And I begged him not to do it. He goes, oh, it'll take better. And I said, oh, please not. Dr. Schmidt said 3. And so he actually ended up calling Dr. Schmidt to find out. And Dr. Schmidt says, no, just do 3.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you advocated for yourself.
Yeah. I had to be on an inversion table, upside down for 6 hours while we watched movie after movie after movie.
Wow. I can't believe that. Because nowadays we just have patients lay down for half an hour on their hospital bed, and then they go home.
No, 6 hours of laying upside down, and then I had to go home and be on the couch the rest of the day. I couldn't do anything.
Odds were pretty low back in those days.
I'm sure.
Early 90s.
12%.
Wow.
Was our chances. That was it.
Wow. So a lot of good has come since then to increase those chances. Was it successful on the first try?
It was. The part of it is you are the product of that.
Yep, the 3 embryos.
Yeah. Well, do you happen to have that shirt there that I wore the day of my implantation?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Yeah. Now you tell them, Abbie, I wore this and then there was you. I wore this t-shirt the day that I had my implant. So I would say this t-shirt and God was a big part of me having my beautiful daughter, Abbie.
Blessed to be born to you guys as parents. Just recently got your medical records because I was interested in seeing them. So we were able to see some of the differences and the similarities between nowadays. Besides what you've already talked about, the medications, I have never heard of those ones. Did you guys always plan to tell me how I was conceived?
Yeah, I was so excited about it and so happy to talk about it. Talked about it from the whenever, for as far as I can remember. We shared that with you from the get-go.
I remember probably being in like elementary school and just thinking it was cool. And I liked telling people.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did people know what you were talking about when you told them?
Probably not. I don't think I even knew what I was talking about.
Well, I still think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you do too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Did you do you think that being conceived by IVF, shaped your career path?
Well, so my dream was always to be a labor and delivery nurse, and so that was the goal I was always reaching for. And so when I got out of college, that's the first job I got, thankfully. And I loved it for 3 years, and then I would always get this newspaper in the mail called Colorado Nurse, and I never read it, but for some reason I decided to read it that day, and there happened to be an ad in the paper for an IVF nurse for a clinic. And then my interest was piqued because I didn't know that there was such thing as IVF nurses. I just always pictured it as just doctors, and I just didn't really think about the fact that there was also so many team members surrounding them. I kept looking online for IVF nurse jobs, and I finally got one, at CU, and I was so blessed to have that job, and I've been in love with it ever since. And I'm out here in Dallas because of FST.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you ever share with your patients that you're an IVF baby yourself?
Yeah, every once in a while I do, and I love their reactions. I think it comes a time in a relationship with your patient or in a certain conversation that it feels appropriate to bring up. So yeah, and I love their reactions every time. They're so sweet about it, and they love hearing about mom's journey. I like to talk about that too. Embryo transfer was on what day? You remember?
On your husband's day that he was born. Mm-hmm. October 24th, 1993.
Yep, and I always knew. I always knew we were 9 months apart, but I didn't know it was exact.
And we know that because of the records they still had. I knew it was in October. So God had a plan, didn't he?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm excited that we got to do this and that you guys got to share your journey and that I got to share mine. And thank you for doing this with me.
Oh, absolutely. I love talking about this journey, and I'm so glad you're working with your passion. It makes us happy.
Me too. Yeah, it really is a passion.